I do not have my own pinstripe suit. I sadly don't even have that little microphone that Sam telescopes down. Um, I've got this. It's not quite the same, is it? Hey there, folks. Well, you know what? Odds are this is probably not going to be a fun year. I'm not trying to drag anybody down. If you're still optimistic, good on you. I hope you have something to calm you down when you eventually get around to looking at the news, because obviously you've been avoiding it. But you know what? I'd like to get something fun and frivolous in before it seems impossible to even consider such stuff. So let's do something that's just for fun. If you didn't already know, I am a subscriber to Dropout, the streaming service formed by the folks who formerly were of College Humor. Now the entire company is called Dropout. They have a ton of original programming, all based around comedy, a lot of it around improvisation. I enjoy it a lot, and sort of their benchmark show, other than arguably the D&D sessions under Dimension 20, is Game Changer. That is hosted by the CEO of the company, Sam Reich, and it is, according to him, the only game show where the game changes every show.
Except for Ellen's Game of Games, Taskmaster, and a few others that have come to light since I wrote that.
I thought it'd be real fun to rank every episode of Game Changer. Now, before I get started, I'm going to stress this is a personal ranking. This is not objective. I'm not trying to be in any way, even-handed. Like, this is just my own feelings, gut instinct, where I'm putting this stuff. I'm also going to point out, I don't think any episode is bad to the point of not being worth watching. Even the stuff I'm going to put at the very bottom of this list, I'm still totally happy that I saw it. I just have no interest in watching it again for reasons that I'll probably get into. Another thing that I'll mention is really only the bottom, 10 maybe of these are ones that I would go, I'm not sure I want to watch that again. Pretty much all the rest of them, I like them. It's just a question of whether or not I like something more. Honestly, once you get into the top half, they're all great. This is one of those lists where you start hitting really good stuff shockingly early. The other thing I'm going to note is there are technically a total of 71 episodes of Game Changer. I am not going to be dealing with multi-parters as multi-part things. I'm condensing them down into one thing. So Ratfish, Survivor, The Bachelor, Battle Royale, I'm only dealing with those as one. I'm not doing parts 1, 2, or how many there were as separate things. I'm also not including the sort of bonus episode that was stuff that was cut. It's fun. I don't consider that a proper episode of the show. So those not being included brings us down to a total of 63. I should probably mention that, spoiler warning, oftentimes these games have a secret twist, not just for the contestants, but also for the viewers. I am going to be spoiling most of these, so if you have not seen them already, just be aware of that. Let's start at the bottom, work our way up. Number 63, Nom Nom Nom. This one, it's a fun prop that they use as the centerpiece of this, where there are hints given and the players have to try and figure out what it is that is asked for and then toss it into this big mouth. And if it likes it, it goes, and if it doesn't, it spits it back out. It's a cute idea for a game.
That was a lot of steps to get to know.
The format gets old kind of quick. And one of the things that you'll probably start noticing as a pattern for the lower ranked ones is a lack of surprise. Generally, I think the biggest strength of this show is its ability to surprise you, either with the format of the games or with how the contestants behave. But when something feels like it's so rigid a format that I know what it's doing pretty much instantly and I'm just watching it do that the whole time, yeah, that kind of gets old. So this is the one I put at the bottom. Again, totally fine, but Game Changer's capable of so much more. Number 62, The Everything Factory. Again, lacking in that unpredictability factor. This is basically just chaos. It doesn't really give the contestants a chance to riff or build on anything that they've done. They just have to try and keep up with this conveyor belt in what is basically a gamified version of that one I Love Lucy clip that's so famous. And again, it's a cute idea, but it really has no lasting power. I honestly kind of forget this episode even happened. Number 61, Tome of Terror. You are going to end up seeing a lot of season 3 in the bottom half of this. Season 3 was the season that they had to film remotely over Zoom due to COVID. And I don't begrudge them that. I do not begrudge the formatting, the choice to do that. It was the right choice to do if they were going to do it at all. However, not physically being in the same space does hamper a lot of what is done. There's a few things that do pretty well with it, but it really just feels like less. It feels like what it is, which is a very compromised version of what the show is at its best. Tome of Terror is personally my least favorite of that season. Another thing that's in here is it's a little bit longer form in terms of the improv and the prompts that they're given. This is going to come up later as well. Long form improv is also not something I'm especially fond of. For me, the best thing about improv is having it be snappy. Once you get to the best punchline of what you're ever going to get out of this prompt, you stop and you move on to the next thing. I honestly sometimes even have this problem with make some noise. There are some prompts that I'm like, you should have stopped. You should have stopped by now. And I just start to get antsy. And having the contestants tell these extended, quote unquote, scary stories that they're improvising as they go, it just wears on me quick. Number 60, tell us about yourself. A cute idea under the restrictions of COVID where the contestants are given hints and they have to try and guess who the mystery guest of the episode is. Again, it's cute, and for the restrictions they had at the time, yeah, that's fine, but that's kind of it. That's fine. Number 59, filmed before a live studio audience. This is one that starts out kind of interesting, but it gets fairly repetitive by the end. And it's interesting because there are later episodes I'm going to rank much higher, which also deal with repetition, but they do a lot more with the repetitive nature of some of the stuff that they're doing. This doesn't really. It just kind of goes through the same cycle repeatedly, which again, isn't bad, but it gets old before it's done. Number 58. Sleeper agents. This one's probably a personal thing. I have a very strong aversion to cringe and embarrassment. And even though I have since found out that literally everyone that the contestants encounter as they go about the set and outside the building to try and find the sleeper agents, literally everyone they encounter was a paid actor. So there are no like normal people who they're encountering and embarrassing. But even just presenting it as if that is what's going on, even if I know it's not, is just not super comfortable for me. This one leans into cringe and discomfort as the contestants try and figure out who the sleeper agents are, and it just makes it not super pleasant for me. Number 57, Who Done It?
There has been a murder.
No kidding.
Yeah, no shit.
Again, a very cute idea, having sort of a dinner theater murder mystery kind of thing going on. But remember how I said the most impressive thing is surprise? Well, that's not just surprise in terms of plans, like completely unexpected stuff. Unexpected by the people participating and by the host even. And this is just too rigid a format. Everybody's got scripts, specific things and hints and clues that they are giving. And again, I don't want to knock the members of the crew because they're delivering their lines woodenly. That's kind of fun in its own way, but the overall format is just way too rigid. The eventual twist of just how many people were in on this thing is kind of fun, but again, that's something that gets done way better later. Number 56, Don't Cry. An incredibly sweet episode based around praising one of the contestants. It's really lovely. It's just not something I ever feel the need to revisit. I really have nothing bad to say about this one, but the love fest on a specific member of the cast is very nice, but again, something that they would end up doing a lot more with in some later instances. Number 55, Ham It Up. Back to season 3. This one with these overt acting challenges, and they have Giancarlo Esposito on, which is a fun thing to do, but again, it feels more like almost a summer camp kind of get to know you sort of improv session rather than a proper episode of Game Changer. It just has a feeling that's almost a little too loose. Number 54, The Substitute. Kind of in a similar vein, this one also features a celebrity guest. This one, Michael Winslow, aka the sound effects guy from the Police Academy movies, amongst other things. And while it's kind of neat to have him on, it's missing the overall dynamic. This is otherwise a continuation of what's come to be known as the Noise Boys, with 3 cast members, Brennan, Josh, and Zach, doing a whole bunch of improv specifically around recreating specific sounds or even accents and things like that. And Zach wasn't available, and so they got Michael, which is a cool substitute to have, thus the title. But at the same time, the whole thing, it's just missing the dynamic that's part of what makes that group really fun, because one of them literally isn't there. Number 53, Is This Thing On? Still into the COVID season 3, where Sam pretends to lose the sound on his side of the Zoom call, and then he has to mime so that the contestants can guess what it is they are meant to be doing. Again, kind of fun, feels more like a get-to-know-you style improv game than it does a properly formatted episode of this show, but it's fine. Number 52. Next slide, please. This is improvised TED Talks, also part of season 3. And this is where Sam has prepared the slideshows, but the contestants don't know the talk they're giving, and they have to make it up and then pivot when the next slide that comes up inevitably has nothing to do with what they were talking about or even what the previous slides were. It's deliberately designed to be nonsensical, which is the thing that I tend to appreciate about it, but again, it has a little bit more of a silly game feel than it does like a proper competition, and it lacks just the scale that I like to see from Game Changer. And yes, I know a lot of that has to do with the format that they're stuck with, and I will grant this leans into the Zoom call format a little bit better than some of the others, but I don't know. It's fine. 51. A Game Most Changed. Yeah, this is where I'm probably going to deviate from a lot of people. Like, look, this type of improv of like really locking in to keep doing the same kind of thing like this the entire way through, I can admire it. I can admire the skill that goes into improving Shakespearean style dialogue for the entire length of an episode like this. But I do get tired of it long before it's over, personally speaking. Number 50, original cast recording. Pretty much in the same vein as A Game Most Changed. I'm very impressed with this sort of long-form musical improv. It's super impressive. It just doesn't hold me. My brain wanders. I can't help it. I love just things being a little bit snappier and, going in completely different directions. And this just kind of does what long-form improv does, which is just continues to build as it goes. And again, it's very impressive that they do as much as they do without having planned it in advance. But that's one of those things that I'm like, that's technically impressive. Not the most enjoyable thing in the world for me, though. Number 49, 2020 Vision. This one, honestly, as a sort of play it at home while you watch, is kind of better now than when it first aired. This is where they are given a number of events and they have to guess whether they happened in 2020 or in some other year. And as time has gone on and years have not gotten much easier than that, it's an interesting thing to sort of try and guess for yourself as you watch the players try to figure that out. It's still kind of basic, but it's fun. Number 48, Never Have I Ever. Super basic drinking game, revamped and repackaged as Dirty Laundry, which is now its own show. That more elaborate format, I dig a heck of a lot more, but like, I've played Never Have I Ever as a drinking game, started in college. Yeah, it's fun. It's fine. Moving on. Number 47, Sellouts. This is one of those instances of taking a game that they had already done in the studio and trying to kind of adapt it for the Zoom format of Season 3. And it is obviously a lesser version of itself. But this has the players having to pitch Sam on some very odd or unpleasant or unhelpful products that they have to try and sell him as if they are salesmen. And it's a fun group. I like this group and I like them doing this format, but this is the least of the 3 times they've done this. Number 46. Who Wants to Be Jacob Wysocki? Remember how I said that the love fest directed at a specific member of the cast was done far more elaborately later? Here you go. This entire thing is basically an excuse to both give a lot of love and affection to, and also a substantial amount of money to one particular cast member, that being Jacob Wysocki. And it's really sweet. Once I figured out the format, which didn't take too long to do, I was kind of like, okay, I get what we're doing, but I appreciate the pomp and the circumstance and the extravagance and how far they went with it. I think that definitely puts it well over Don't Cry, but it's still only going to go this high. Number 45, Pencils Down, sort of an arts and crafts episode. An interesting idea that I honestly have a hard time remembering much about. When I remember bits or I see clips, I'm like, oh, right, that was kind of fun. But not too much of it actually stuck with me afterwards. Something about the format just gives it a sort of a lazier sense to it. I don't mean lazy as in low effort. I just mean in terms of pace. It's a little lower energy compared to a lot of other Game Changer, and that keeps it from getting any higher. Number 44, Secret Santa. This is a format for Sam to basically just mostly give presents to the players, although there will inevitably be some presents that are not as desirable as others. This is, I think, the format of him just kind of spoiling the players, or at least giving them a chance to be spoiled, that I think I like best. This very first go at it is the most primitive of the lot. You can tell the idea is still kind of bubbling up, but no, it's solid. Number 43, Secret Santa 2, the Santa Claus. Yeah, I think the second time they did it was a little bit better. Not a massive leap, but a little better. Number 42, Karaoke Night. Again, musical improv. This one's significantly higher than original cast recording because it's not long form, and I appreciate it more it being short form. But also, having watched an entire episode of musical improv, I've just realized that musical improv in general is one of those things that I'm like impressed by more than I am entertained by. That said, they are dang good at this. Wow.
It's a finishing.
It is quite impressive. Number 41, 3 for the Price of 1. The other third season attempt at having the players pitch these particular items to Sam. And I think this one worked a lot better than the previous time they'd done it over Zoom. If for no other reason, then they got Reika a decent webcam, so she's not stuttering and artifacting on the screen the way that she was in the first one. I like the way that this particular group of contestants were really good at needling each other, winding each other up, and to a certain extent, messing with Sam.
Sam, let me ask you this. Where are you from?
Number 40, ChangerCon. Improv cosplay on a very, very tight time limit. This one, the premise is not the most impressive thing, but just seeing the desperation and what they managed to come up with, and sometimes being like, oh, that's not too bad. Other times looking at them and going, what are you doing? It is just the right kind of embarrassing for me. Number 39, One and Done. A really interesting idea where the contestants will pick a particular type of challenge that they think they'll be able to do, but they only get one attempt at it.
You only have one shot!
It's a wide variety of stuff, and it's a neat idea, and they certainly put an ample amount of pomp and circumstance behind the whole you only get one shot shtick that they've got going, but it was a premise that I was kind of over, probably with about 5 minutes left to go in the episode. So it didn't quite carry me the whole length. Number 38, the Newlywed Game. A very chill game, certainly compared to how a lot of Game Changer can be. And that kind of keeps it from getting higher than this. It can't recreate the chaos of what this show can be at its very best. But there is just a lot of fun watching these people, these couples, just laugh, reveal things about each other, and make their friends laugh. It's a good time. Number 37, Make It Fashion. The follow-up to ChangerCon, also from Season 3, so it's another Zoom one. But again, I think it's just a little bit funnier than the first time they did it. Don't really have a ton more to say than that. I enjoy it. Number 36, Game of Prizes, where prizes are put on offer and the contestants have to wager whether or not they think the prize is in fact even real. The banter between the contestants is just delightful. And while it doesn't quite reach the peaks of something that's kind of similar in some ways that we'll get to later, I enjoy this one. Both in terms of the way that Sam is able to spoil the contestants and also the way that they just kind of mess with each other. Number 35, Like My Coffee 2. This one is just a game of innuendos. As you can tell from the title, they have done Like My Coffee twice. I think the first one is a bit better. You'll see it later in the list. But I do like this one as well.
Let's do it like an A24 movie.
A lot of hype, but mostly confusion in the end.
Just the whole nature of being given a prompt and coming up with whatever you want to go with. The most absurd innuendo, the dirtiest innuendo, the most wholesome innuendo in some cases, and then just seeing what Sam likes most. It's the kind of improv game that I know I'd have a lot of fun with. Number 34, The Bachelor. This multi-part dating-based episode, which has the cast member Grant O'Brien consider various people to potentially date. And it is formatted a bit like The Bachelor, just far, far more condensed down. It's a cute idea. I'm not really a huge fan of The Bachelor or reality shows in general, if I am being completely honest about that. But I will say that the personalities that were brought in were a fun mix, and just seeing Grant both get excited and squirm at the same time is just a good combination of things. Number 33, Jeopardy, the highest ranking of the Zoom season episodes. I think this is the one that by far does the most with the restrictions they have. Starting out as just a simple Jeopardy game, as we all know it, but then very quickly revealing itself to, in fact, be a pirate-themed RPG. So, of course, Brennan's in this one, along with Iffy and Allie, and seeing them all together, like, these are people who work really well with each other, but also just seeing the twists in the game and see the game itself evolve, even as they are stuck on a Zoom call for their format. I think this is by far the most inventive and most successful that they were able to do from that season. Number 32, Outvoted. A big old campaign episode where the various contestants have to pitch themselves as the new president of Dropout. Sam might be handling the format, but they are, of course, not only competing against themselves, but also against Sam. The very best episodes of the game is where the contestants realize it's not them versus each other, it's them versus Sam. And this is definitely large scale, it's elaborate, it makes a whole big to-do. They finally get Sam's dad, economist Robert Reich, onto the show, which is something you'd think would have happened a long time before that. It's a good time. I enjoy seeing the way that the different people pivot as the mid-game polls of the audience show how they are doing against each other, and it just all pulls together quite well. Number 31, round 4. It's the Noise Boys. Zach, Josh, Brennan, just doing the precursor to what has since been spun off into its own show, Make Some Noise, also hosted by Sam. I'm not going to do a ranking of that. The format is a little bit too rigid from episode to episode. They kind of do the same thing. Like, the mini games might change, but the main format stays the same. So there isn't as much to compare on that one. But it starts with these three, and this was not the first time they were brought together. And I also don't think it's the best, but it is a good time. And just seeing it kick off with them just having the points that they had at the end of the last time they did this.
We're still doing it? Oh.
And it all just rolls over as if it's an extension of the exact same episode. It's fun. Number 30. Like My Coffee. It's the innuendo game, and I think it's funnier the first time. I think partially because the contestants were testing the water a little bit more for how far they feel like they could push it. They've settled in a little bit more with the second one, which you'd think would make it funnier, but actually watching them kind of figure out how far they want to go with it, to me, is part of the fun of this original go. Number 29, Yes or No. This one might surprise people for not being higher. Now look, this has an absolutely epic Brennan Lee Mulligan rant once he realizes what this game actually is.
I've only just begun to pull the thread on this sweater, friends.
It is presented as if it is a game where they are just asked, is it this or is it this? Is it yes or no? 50-50 chance each time, and Brennan can't get a single point. The other two players are getting points, and eventually Brennan realizes what they're actually doing. The format of the game is not yes or no. The format of the game is Brennan can't win.
I cannot win! That is correct, Brennan!
Because Brennan had won in his previous appearances on the show, but more importantly, Brennan is incredibly competitive. So Sam rigged the game. And the rant that comes out of Brennan at the end is legendary.
I solved your labyrinth, puzzle master! The Minotaurs escaped, and you're gonna get the horns, buddy!
I just think that that is by far the best part of the episode, and the build up to that is, like, it's necessary. It's necessary to have that payoff, but I don't ever need to watch the whole episode again. I will just watch that rant in isolation again, which means that taken as a whole, and not just that one amazing moment, as a complete episode, it is good. But that one moment is so much higher than everything else. Some might decide to say that that brings the whole episode up. That, for me, says if the best part is so clearly so much better than everything else, like, that's awesome. But there being that big gap, that just means it lands here. Number 28, Survivor. Another multi-parter, and this one with the various contestants doing the full Survivor format, looking for immunity idols, trying to win immunity idols, voting each other off. There's a lot of great stuff in here. Brennan and Lou especially really get a chance to shine on this one, and I enjoy it immensely.
Do you think I fuck around?
I'm also not a huge Survivor fan, so while I appreciate what it's doing, it just doesn't hit the same as it probably would for someone who is a fan of the thing that they are clearly parodying. But it's still a real good time. and it was worth having it be spread across multiple episodes. Number 27, Noise Boys. This was the 4th time that Zach, Brennan, and Josh came together to do the precursor to Make Some Noise on Game Changer before they started appearing at least once every season over on the spinoff.
Is my client a perfect man? No.
I killed him, yeah.
It's good. They're just so much fun, and by this point they are fully settled in, allowing themselves to be absolutely ridiculous. It's such a good time. Number 26, Secret Santa 3. Oh, poor Raph. This, I think, is the best Secret Santa. The entire thing really is elevated by getting to have it be in the studio. And this is a case where, yes, there are wonderful prizes in there, but there are also ones that you don't want. And Raph keeps ending up with them over and over again, and it doesn't get old. It is an absolute delight. This is the peak of the Secret Santa format. At least for now. We'll see if they ever bring it back again. Number 25, Earnestest. This is an interesting one where the primary thing is for the contestants to not turn anything into a bit and instead give their most earnest attempt at every prompt. It does sort of take away one of the major strengths of the show as a whole, which is watching the players lose it. Lacking that means it's not going to go any higher than this, but they came up with some really interesting and fun things to put this particular batch of players through if they were going to make them be as sincere as possible. Number 24, Ratfish. This was another multi-parter and an interesting game where the players are all isolated and communicating over chat, so they don't know who else is playing, and that's actually the game. They're trying to figure out who else is even involved in this, as they all play made-up characters.
My name is Grandma Sweetie.
Hi, my name is Jack Stryker.
My name is Jackson Alberta, PhD.
My name is the Landlord, and I'm a professional wrestler, baby! Yeah!
My name is Brandon Lee Mulligan, but for today, it can't be. So instead, I will be a bug with a big ass.
I am adjustable side table, walnut.
My name is Brennan Lee Mulligan. I'm 34?
35.
I'm 35.
It is a fun format, and I'm not going to say it outstays its welcome. I will say I'm not sure it needed 2 parts. Maybe just like one slightly longer episode would have worked a little bit better, at least for me personally. The reveal of who the secret extra player, the Ratfish, is very cool. Although, if you don't know who Eric Wareheim is, the impact of that might be lost on you a little bit. Like, he is very much a comedian's comedian. I guarantee you every single one of the participants in that knew who he was. But as a viewer, if you don't know who he is, it's a little bit less than it could have been. Number 23, Sam Says. The simplicity of just doing a simple children's game. It's Simon Says, except it's Sam Says. And he has planned this to find as many ways as possible to trip up the participants.
Gotta keep a watch out, guys, because they'll get you.
I was just eager to share.
And whenever they realize that he got them, the look of frustration that comes over them is delightful. Trust me, it gets better though. Number 22, Battle Royale. It's Survivor, but bigger and also better. I like the second crack at the format better. And this is a case where going bigger, going longer, doing more episodes, going more extravagant works. Sometimes you don't have to go bigger. Sometimes the simplicity does the job, but other times, yeah, let's get big. Let's get ridiculous, which this absolutely does. It's fun to return to that format from the Survivor episodes and just do it bigger, grander, and sillier. Number 21, The Drinking Game. The drinking game is one of the best ones to rewatch once you've seen it through once and gotten to the end. Because the way it is initially presented is that all the participants are drunk except for one. One person who we are shown at the start, who is the secret sober, trying to not be discovered as they battle it out. And the secret sober has to pretend to be just as drunk as everybody else. And they begin to accuse each other. Who's the secret sober? As these drunk people just try and sort this nonsense out. And then you get to the very end and find out nobody was drunk.
I felt special!
Everybody was a secret sober. Going back and rewatching it and realizing everything is an act. Every single thing that every one of them does is what they think will convince the others that they are drunk. It's fun the first time. It's exceptional on a rewatch. This is so good. Number 20, a sponsored episode. The very first sales pitch episode, and the home of so many amazing recurring bits.
Can I ask, where'd you grow up?
Now, Sam, where are you from? Sam, where'd you grow up? Now, Sam, where are you from?
Not to mention, Trap just going ahead and just biting into a lemon. Not peeling it, just biting into it. And being prompted to do it a second time, and not even flinching. The products they're asked to pitch are absurd. The ways that they pitch them are absurd. But the commitment that each and every one of them puts behind it is mwah, chef's kiss. Number 19, Sam-a-Lama Ding Dong. The secret surprise finale of the most recent season, in which Sam was not the host, but the contestant.
I hate the taste of my own medicine.
Thrown into a game that he did not create, that he had no control over, and that was presented as a kidnapping and a dungeon. And of course, Brennan as the Minotaur, who he must ultimately defeat.
You're so tall.
The elaborateness of this is incredible. And it's really sweet that it also serves as a celebration of the show, as it references so many of the past episodes that have happened. I think, honestly, though, my own personal favorite aspect of this is that Brennan wants so badly for Sam to get annoyed or frustrated by all this. But Sam, being someone who loves games and game theory, is just, he's like a kid in a candy store.
I'm having a great time.
You stop having fun right
Rules.
No!
He loves every second of it. It's a great turnaround. It's a great celebration. It's so over the top. Ah, it's good. Number 18, Fool's Gold. This is another one that plays better now than when it originally aired. Because when it originally aired, it felt kind of incomplete. And if I was ranking these closer when it first come out, maybe I'd knock it for that. But I'm not going to. So this is one that's sort of a Shark Tank-like presentation where our contestants are the people who will decide whether or not to fund the various pitches that are brought in. And the pitches just get more and more unhinged as they go. From a sexy car wash to an Elmer glue peel to a blind breast milk taste test, which I still can't believe they did, to, of course, finding a way to mess with Brennan by having him make what appears to be a very sincere farewell video that announces he's leaving Dropout to make shoes for American Girl dolls. As I said, it's better now than when it first aired, because when it first aired, part of the idea was, well, how many, hits, likes, shares, reposts, whatever, those are the points. So it wasn't until a month after it aired that we actually knew who even won. But ultimately, it was never really about the contestants, because we won. Because we got to see some real absurdity with this one. Number 17, Bingo. Layers upon layers upon layers. First layer appears to be more or less straightforward bingo. There are prompts, there are questions, there are responses, there are things that our initial group of contestants will do in order to earn a bingo ball to see if they can get bingo on their card. It seems a little simplistic. Seems a little, I don't know, slow even. But that's just layer 1. Layer 2 are the folks hidden away, watching these 3 contestants. And each of these folks has their own bingo card with a list of things that they think the contestants in the bottom layer are going to do. And as they do them, they get to mark stuff off. And so they are trying to get bingo. And they are in fact coming up with the prompts for the questions to try and goad very specific things out of the first layer contestants. Except there's also a third layer of contestants trying to get bingo by getting the people in the second layer to do very specific things. It is bingoception. It is revealed at the perfect pace. Every layer, and I can imagine this was a nightmare to edit so that it was coherent and made sense. It's so much fun though. Number 16, the Olympics. This one's just a really fun idea because we come in and the contestants are given some physical challenges. We find out they actually already did all these a week ago in what they thought was another record. Didn't realize it was for the same episode, except now they're not competing against each other. They're just competing against their last score that they got the last time that they did this. And as Brennan Lee Mulligan points out,
once again, Sam Reich has found a novel way to punish you for doing your best.
If you tried really hard the previous time, that's going to make it a lot harder to do even better this time. A situation that is compounded by the surprise third round in which they have to beat whatever their best of the previous 2 was. And so watching them try and beat their previous scores and stress out about having to do that, and of course, Brennan's frustration at the entire format of the thing.
The man is sick. He's a sick, sick man.
Yep, I'm here for this. Number 15, Lie Detector. The very first episode of Game Changer, and it's still really good. Yes, there is the eventual twist and reveal that the lie detector that our contestants have been dealing with is in fact being manned by their respective partners backstage. So whenever a question about them specifically comes up, these people know them and they can say whether it's true or whether it's a lie, what was just said. And it just builds really well. Unlike something like, say, Yes or No, which I talked about a little bit ago, this isn't just the reveals towards the end. There are great moments sprinkled across this, whether it be just flirting with the machine.
I write good sketches. I got a great ass. Yeah, you know it, machine. You know it.
Brennan having his little moment of,
You are not God, the machine is!
Or just the reveal of their partners and then continuing to play the game while having to look their partners dead in the eye and go like, oh crap, you do know that, don't you? It's just a really great build. It's a stunningly solid first episode. Number 14, Race to the Bottom. Another sequel episode. We'll get to the first one a little bit later, which I do think is slightly better. But a case where the contestants involved have to say what is the least amount of money that they will do something for. And in order to prevent them uniting against Sam, there is also the bonus of Katie Maravich being brought in as a scab to undercut them.
Would you tweet your own name in quotes for any less than $275?
Yeah, I'll do it for $20.
The frustration every time one contestant goes way lower than the others are prepared to do.
Sure. $200.
$200?
$200. I changed my mind.
I'll do it for $10.
Oh my God.
The panic that sometimes happens when they realize what they have agreed to do, hoping that somebody else will bid lower than them.
$1,000 from Lily. Kate, did you do it for any less?
Yeah, I'll do it for $999.
Okay, I'm out. It's her.
The shock of how little money is required for some of these people to do some of these things.
$400.
$400?
Katie.
$350.
What?
It all comes together beautifully. Number 13, Sam Says 2. It's Sam Says, but better.
When it gets you, it sucks.
Bigger.
Don't flinch.
Oh my God.
The prompts get sneakier.
That was your voice. In fact, me dubbing over Adam Conover.
I didn't get tricked.
The contestants get more flustered.
You get that it sucks?
The simplicity of it all gives way to increasingly complex scenarios. Every Sam Says is better than the last. And we're not going to see the third one for a little bit yet. Number 12. Do I Hear $1? The precursor to Race to the Bottom has basically everything that I love about Race to the Bottom, with the added benefit of the conclusion, when it eventually gets to the point where none of them are willing to do what Sam has asked them to do, and they all stand their ground, and that ends the game because they have unionized. While I love the touch in the sequel one of having Katie come in to ensure that they can't unionize and to scab and undercut them, just having that as a conclusion here, it's just better. Number 11, Beat the Buzzer. A game in which the contestants are given incredibly easy questions, except their buzzers don't work. But there are buzzers hidden all over the studio in some very elaborate ways. Some need to be assembled. Some need to be activated with special remote controls. One of them is outside and they have to try and convince a passerby to touch the thing. A game where the questions are so simple, but just the simple act of pushing the buzzer gets increasingly difficult because any given buzzer will only work once. What a stunningly fun twist. Number 10, Make Some Noise. The original Noise Boys episode. The reason I consider this one to be the best is because seeing them come to terms with what it is that they're actually being asked to do, and that, that is what this is going to be. Okay, adds a little bit extra fun to an otherwise fun format, and one of the best groups that has ever been involved in this format. So I just think they kicked it off so perfectly. Number 9, As a Cucumber. Another one where Brennan gets messed with.
Brennan, that looks like an additional point for you. Bravo.
You care to elaborate on why that's an additional point for me? You smug mother.
He's not the only one. They all get messed with in this one. This is a game where they are fitted with heart rate monitors. And after determining what their standard resting is, they are then asked questions and or put into situations where they have to try and keep their heart rate from going over 20 beats per minute faster than they're resting. The things that Katie, Brennan, and Carolyn are put through to try and raise their heart rates are absolutely delightful.
Brennan,
Calm down.
worth 5 points. Your bird is.
Pretty happy with yourself, huh?
I honestly get tension even on a rewatch being like, wait, were they able to keep their cool for this? I can't remember. I still get that sense of tension. It transfers to me. It's really good. It's such a fun idea. Number 8, Crowd Control. Another one that got spun off into its own series. And if I'm being completely honest, while the first season of Crowd Control is fun and I do like it, it's not as good as this original. 3 comedians are brought in to do stand-up in front of a crowd, and specifically to do crowd work, asking the crowd members about themselves and riffing on what they get. Except this isn't just a standard crowd. This is a crowd with some real interesting people on it. And they eventually reveal shirts saying what the really interesting about them is. And then later we get red flags, people with far heavier or darker topics revealed on their shirts. The comedians have to try and make it work.
Yours, does it say ask about my accident?
It says addiction.
Whoops.
I think this is a perfect combination of three really great comedians, in addition to, I think, having the best crowd. I think one of the problems for crowd control as an ongoing format is the kinds of people in the crowd have settled into a handful of types of stuff, and it starts to get predictable, not only what sorts of things are going to be in the crowd, but also which of those things the comedians are most likely to end up interacting with. This first time feels way more unpredictable and way more like literally anything could happen. Plus, it has an amazing running bit as Gianmarco and Sam become antagonists for each other, with Gianmarco continually stepping over the line, Sam taking a point away, then Gianmarco doing a joke so good that Sam gives him the point back again.
Take a point away from Gianmarco. Let's add back that point for Gianmarco.
And they just keep going back and forth, and it's so much fun. Number 7, Deja Vu. You remember a while back where I said they would do repetition to much better effect? Yeah, this is it. They keep restarting the game over and over again. The questions don't change. So you have the players memorizing the answers, trying to buzz in faster than anybody else.
Who won the Nobel Prize?
Alexander Solzhenitsyn.
Alexander Sokhanich.
Alexander Solzhenitsyn?
Alexander Solzhenitsyn?
Alexander Solzhenitsyn.
The ways in which then having done this repeatedly impacts things. As the podium inspector comes in and notices whatever mess was made from the previous runs is still there. And of course, the legendary weenus dance from Sam that wraps up every round. Number 6, name a number. This one takes the idea from Do I Hear $1 and Race to the Bottom and inverts it, because the contestants will say how many times they're willing to do a thing. Because here Sam names the thing and the contestants have to decide how many times are they willing to do that thing.
Back to you, Becca. Do you think you can do better than 48?
I can do 50.
She is back to 50. Is it?
1,000.
And then before too long, they have to say how many times they're willing to do something without knowing what the thing is. And they have nothing to go on but Sam's reaction.
How many?
20.
Start lower. I beg you.
As some of those numbers get quite high for the things he is about to ask them to do.
10. 12. What?
Now we are talking.
14. Okay, we gotta stop. We gotta stop, you guys.
It is a really fun format. I love the mind games of it. This very much feels like the players trying to figure out Sam way more than they're trying to figure out each other. So you have that players versus Sam mentality that I really, really love. And it's just such a clever twist on something we'd already seen. I can't help but love it. Number 5, Roulette. Who doesn't love a big spinning wheel?
Let's go, the dream of mine!
This is such a fun and absolutely chaotic episode.
Look at what you did!
Ask questions!
A lot happened there in a short amount of time.
As the contestants get these things off of here that alter their behavior, the things that they are or aren't allowed to do. But then as the game goes on, they can take some of the restrictions from another player. They can get rid of some. They can put them on someone else. And then the eventual realization that Sam has been wearing a tag the whole time that says host the show.
Can I swap with you?
What would you like to give to me?
This was clearly something that Sam had wanted to do. Otherwise, he would not have put that tag on himself. But the absolute insanity.
Jeremy, can I have 10 points?
Why?
I want them, you stupid
Convincing, I like that.
As it continues on and as it all appears to spiral completely out of control until eventually all of the contestants are hosting and Sam is the only contestant left in the thing. It is gloriously absurd. I love the prop. It's real good. Number 4, second place. Of the many times that Sam Reich has tortured Brennan Lee Mulligan in specific, this is my favorite way he did it.
No, wait.
Because Brennan, as I mentioned, is incredibly incredibly competitive, and he believes in doing your very best. So when you are awarded points and prizes for getting second place, and it becomes strategically valuable to not do your best,
these are going to slow me down.
What? That is going to drive Brennan absolutely up the wall.
I don't know what I did, but at some point, Sam looked at me and went, this guy, I need to rattle his belief in doing your best.
I don't want to make it seem like Brennan's the only one there. Allie and Oscar are also fantastic in this, but they quickly realize the most fun is going to be had in tormenting Brennan. So they kind of get in on it with Sam to just make it as insufferable for Brennan as they possibly can.
Brennan questioning some life decisions.
Not decisions, circumstances.
The man's real fun to mess with. What can I tell you? Number 3, escape the green room. The idea that the contestants would get ready to go down to the set that they've been on multiple times before to find the door out of the green room locked and realize they are in an escape room and have an hour to get out. It's beautiful.
Just found some cards.
You're not getting a fucking joke out of me until I'm out of this room.
No! No!
I've been here the whole time.
You mother...
What the f?
What the f? You son of a bitch!
They are so annoyed. In that fun, like, oh, my friend got me really good way, but all 3 contestants. You can tell there is that inherent frustration, like, I did not sign up for this. But also see them light up whenever they start to figure something out. It is a wonderful balance. And Sam cackling on the TV screen through almost the entire thing is just the cherry on the sundae. Number 2, Sam Says 3. Possibly the ultimate embodiment of the game is not the players versus each other, but the players versus Sam.
He's doing this to us.
He's doing this to us.
He wants this.
Jacob, Lou, Vic had no idea what they were in for.
Sam's trying to pit us against each other. But we love each other so much.
Despite the fact that 2 out of the 3 of them had been in Sam Says games before.
And dance.
No! No!
They didn't know. They didn't know the level that Sam was going to take it to.
You make me look like this, you make me dance, and you still take my points away?
Sam says don't flinch.
All the daddies at home, you may in 3, 2, 1.
If you're in a hole dying, I won't be there.
I'll help you.
They are sent on a party bus, and they are expected to continue to obey a handful of rules that they were told are permanent throughout the rest of the game. They get back from a party bus drunk and then hear about all the rules they broke. Sam breaks these contestants in this one, and it's glorious. The only thing that could be better than this is revenge. Because number 1 for me is 1 year later. Immediately following the conclusion of Sam Says 3, those same contestants were given a dossier with a whole bunch of challenges that they had 1 year to do. And when they came back,
I don't think I've ever been more out of the loop as to what a Game Changer episode is about to be.
They got to mess with Sam. Because Sam might have known what the prompts were. He knew what was in the dossier. He didn't know what they'd do with it. He didn't know Lou was wearing an entire tearaway outfit. He didn't know Jacob was going to go full mentalist on him.
Congratulations, you have a very weak mind.
He didn't know that Vic would acquire the deed to his house.
You forged my signature!
He didn't know that all 3 of them would join forces to plant a camera in his home.
This is so many different days!
As Sam begins to realize that while he may have set this game up, he is not in control of it.
A year ago, we were broken, drunk, and defeated. Today, we stand triumphant.
That is what makes this, to me, the best episode. Now, I know a lot of what I just said could also apply to Sam-a-Lama Ding Dong in terms of Sam not being in control.
You mother...
But I think it hits different when he thinks he should be and the game is taken away from him, as opposed to him just being fully thrust into a situation that he just had no say over. And I love Sam-a-Lama Ding Dong, and I'm impressed by it. This is just gonna hit different for one other reason. It is, in a way, almost the second part of a two-part finale off of the back of Sam Says. It is a perfect follow-up to what would otherwise be my favorite episode of this show. It is perfection. I cannot wait to see what the future holds for Game Changer. What do you think is the best? I don't expect you to rank as many as I ranked. If you want to, by all means. But let's hear your top 5, top 10, maybe? Drop them down in the comments. What's your favorite? What do you think I was very unkind to? What do you think I put up high that you would not have put anywhere near that high? Whatever your thoughts are, drop them down in the comments. Let's talk about them. Patreon pays the bills and enables me to do this as my living. You also would have seen this video early if you were supporting me on there or as a YouTube member. But don't worry too much about that. I appreciate it for sure. I appreciate every single bit of help I can get. But what I really want you to remember is that you are beautiful, you are valid, and you are loved. You are the council, and I am just running the meetings. And until next time, this council is adjourned. And now to thank my highest supporting patrons: Robin Moore, Jared Boyce, Zubin Lafula, Auntie Kate 808, Mira G, Angry Casperl, Dave Hall, Oliver B, Mystic Shadow, Sean Miller, Welsh Wrestling Geeks, Melissa Pedersen, Pickapok, Becky Sparks, Ulrich, Twilord, Tracy Scrabbit, Palber Rabajoggle, Cindy Ella, Sir Didymus is my favorite, and thanking some random folks from my lower tiers of support. Thank you, Pippa Barwell, Mandy Walla, and Jessica, the Trans Metal Alchemist. The boys are back, and we've got a new one here. We have Navarro has joined the mischief. Okay, so that's just what we're doing now. All right.